See, this is Murali. Now we are trying to concentrate how to define an abstract class in C#. Before that, so read this explanation. An abstract class is combination of both class and interface. It contains collection of concrete methods, in the sense some methods with implementation and some methods with only names. Means class contains certain amount of methods with complete explanation, whereas interface contains only method names. Now this abstract class can have both of those implementations. You can have a method only with name, at the same time you can have a method with explanation like a class. When a class contains at least one abstract method, then the class must also be abstract. To define an abstract method, class uses abstract keyword. At the same time, so to redefine that method, to re-implement that method, so the derived class uses a keyword called override. Okay, this is the way try to construct an abstract class. The only difference between interface and abstract class is interface contains methods only with names, whereas abstract class contains certain methods like interface methods, at the same time certain methods like class methods. So that's the way. Just try to concentrate and define interface, abstract class, my class it is, my abstract class it is, create a method. This is a regular method which is with an explanation. Understand? And this is one more method which is defined like an interface method, but class will not accept that type of implementations. To make it possible, so it uses a keyword called abstract. When it contains an abstract method, then the class must also be abstract. And define and re-implement this abstract method in a derived class called my class. Understand? Similar to interface inheritance, so interface implementation is just try to call your abstract class name. And see, this is public void, override void. The name of that method is called display method. Understand? So it shows a default exception. If you want it, use it, otherwise remove it. And there is a statement called this is display method. If you want to just try to define some more methods like details, and let me say this method is executing a statement called this is details. To invoke these members, you try to create an object reference to my class. C is equal to new my class, and where C contains print, and there is an abstract method called display, and this is one more method called editors. At the end there should be something like read or readline method. Remember, you cannot have an instance to abstract class. Why? Because abstract class contains improper implementation of methods, implementation for certain methods. The reason it is not possible to create an instance to the abstract class. If method in the class is not completed, indirectly it says that class is also not completed. The reason you cannot create an object reference to abstract class. To invoke implemented members of abstract class event, so there should be a reference of its derived class. Understand? So see, this is the way I execute. Press F5 to execute and see the output. Thank you very much. Murali, Edgitech Computers.